sis, I'm looking at souvenirs right now. What would you like?
What have you been up to? Ignoring my messages.
You tried to contact me. I didn't notice. Is something wrong?
I can't believe you're so nonchalant about this. We're in the middle of a funeral.
Funeral? What do you mean? Whose?
It's your daughter. What do you mean? What I mean?
The day my niece Amy collapsed was the same day my sister went on her trip and left her in my care. Despite knowing her child had a fever, my sister left her with me and went traveling. I tried contacting her multiple times, but there was no response, and by the time she finally reached out, it was too late. I felt a surge of anger. I'd been married for 4 years, but not being able to have children has been a source of distress. We planned to have a family right after our wedding, repeatedly trying but with no success. My sister had a shotgun wedding 2 years ago, but got divorced within 6 months. Since then, she's been dumping her child on me every chance she gets.
It'll be good practice for when you have kids in the future, right? So it's fine.
My sister always says this when she leaves her child with me. Paybacks each time. It leaves me with mixed feelings, but I take her in because it's not my niece's fault. But I'm mostly fed up with her disregard for me. And now, once again.
I'm going on a trip with some friends for a week starting tomorrow. Can you take care of Amy again?
What? You can't? I just took care of her last week.
Last week was for work, so it couldn't be helped, right?
Can't you ask our parents or something? I have plans too.
What kind of plans could a full-time housewife like you have? It's fine, right?
But a whole week.
I'll bring back souvenirs. It's an international trip I planned long time ago. I can't exactly cancel it.
Then why not take Amy with you?
Bringing her might be bothersome to others. Besides, I want to enjoy this trip alone.
Amy will miss you, and aren't you being too selfish?
Anyway, I'll bring her there before I leave tomorrow. Bye, she said, and hung up the phone abruptly.
I could only sigh. I decided to discuss this with my husband when he returned from work.
Really? I got that.
Yes, that's why I need your help too.
Alright, but I'm going on the long business trip starting tomorrow. I know, Blue about it.
Really? How long will you be away?
About 5 days, maybe a week if the business discussions drag on. A risk guide.
So I have to take care of everything by myself.
It's my job. If
Alright, I understand.
it gets too tough, you could ask your mother-in-law for help.
I couldn't believe I had to handle everything alone for a whole week. At this point, I already felt like my spirit was breaking. My niece was really attached to my husband. Maybe because she doesn't have a father, she probably thought of Matt as a dad to herself. I remember once when we were babysitting her, she cried so much at night, and I didn't know what to do. That time, Matt managed to soothe her, but now I'll be alone. The thought of facing the same situation again filled me with anxiety. And then came the day of my sister's trip. Matt had left early in the morning for his business trip, and I was waiting alone for my sister.
All right, take care of her then.
My sister said, hurrying to leave. But that's when I noticed something off about my niece, Amy.
Hey, Amy seems to have a red face, doesn't she?
Oh, she's been a bit feverish since this morning.
Why? You're leaving a sick child with me?
Well, I've been looking forward to this trip for a long time. I can't just not go.
Just because she's sick, you should at least take her to the hospital.
It's normal. She'll be fine. If you're so worried, you take her, sis. I've gotta go. My flight's soon.
Well, wait a minute.
It'll be good practice for when you have a sick child of your own. You'll learn a lot by now.
I couldn't believe she was going on a trip, leaving her sick child behind. Seeing my lethargic niece, an indescribable anxiety overwhelmed me. She's only 2, so I can't even give her over-the-counter medicine. Fortunately, it seemed like just a slight fever, so I cooled her head and put her to bed. I was at a loss and called my mom.
Mom, she's left Amy with me again, and this time for a trip, and Amy seems to have a fever. What should I do?
Calm down. Is the fever very high?
It's just a slight fever for now.
Then let's just watch her. If she starts having seizures or convulsions, call an ambulance right away.
Got it.
Call me immediately if anything happens, okay?
Hearing my mom's words eased my anxiety a bit, but I couldn't bear the thought of enduring this for a whole week. Even though it was just a mild fever, it was painful to watch her small body struggle. Then that night, Amy's condition suddenly got worse. Her fever shot up, and she began to suffer. So I panicked and called an ambulance. I tried calling my sister, but for some reason, I couldn't get through no matter how many times I tried.
Why isn't it working? Maybe it's because she's abroad, and her family is in the US. Why isn't it working? Maybe it's because she's abroad and her phone doesn't work.
I also tried contacting my husband, but I couldn't reach him either. All I got was an indifferent announcement that the phone was out of service range. Feeling nearly crushed by anxiety, I called my mom and she came right away.
Mom, what should I do?
It's okay. The doctor is with her. There's no need to worry.
However, despite the treatment, her condition continued to worsen. I tried contacting my sister every hour, but I couldn't get through at all.
I'm so sorry, so sorry.
And 4 days later, Amy passed away. A 2-year-old child, never getting the chance to see her mother again. I didn't know what to do. I just broke down in tears.
It's not your fault.
I know there was nothing you could do, but...
And how come we couldn't get through to her? What was she really doing?
If I had known this would happen, I should have at least asked for her hotel details.
Crushed by regret, I had Amy's body, sadly, temporarily kept at the funeral home. I couldn't contact my sister or my husband to discuss what to do next. Matt's business trip was supposed to end tomorrow, so all I could do was wait for his return. Seeing how exhausted I was, my mom suggested I get some rest, and for the first time in 4 days, I managed to sleep properly. The next day, I tried contacting my sister again, but with no change in the result. And my husband, who was supposed to return, didn't come back. Worried that his business meeting might have been extended, I decided to contact his company. That was when I was told that my husband, Matt, wasn't on a business trip, but had taken a week of paid leave. A bad feeling washed over me. I had tried not to think about it, but just as Amy was attached to Matt, he was close to my sister. In front of me, Matt often called my sister cute, and she seemed pleased with it. When my sister left Amy with us, Matt often came home late, and lately they were returning together. Once I started my suspicions, more and more questions arose. The day they left and the number of days they were gone were exactly the same. Could this really be just a coincidence? Looking for evidence, I decided to check my sister's Instagram. There, I found photos from 2 days ago of her enjoying room service food in a hotel room. And upon closer inspection of those photos, I saw Matt reflected in the mirror. I was convinced that the two of them were having an affair, leaving a sick child behind for a romantic getaway, and with her sister's husband no less. Leaving a sick child behind for a romantic getaway, and with her sister's husband no less. It's unforgivable. I saved the images, and in between preparing for Amy's funeral, I secured some divorce papers. 2 days later, Amy's funeral was held with only close family present.
Why don't she hear?
Still no contact?
That's right.
I'll be at your child's funeral. Anya, what kind of mother is that?
My parents were furious when, finally, I received a call from my sister.
Hello, sis. I'm at the airport, just looking at some souvenirs.
I'm coming back today, so I was wondering what you'd like. I want to thank you for taking care of Amy.
What have you been doing all this time?
Just a trip.
Why did you answer when I called so many times?
Ah, sorry, I didn't notice. Maybe because I was abroad? Anyway, do you want anything?
We're in the middle of a funeral right now, so let's talk later.
Whose funeral?
Your daughter's.
What do you mean?
Amy passed away 2 days ago.
Wait, I don't understand what you're saying.
It's because you left her with a fever. She was calling for her mom until the end.
The what?
You might as well have had a hand in your own child's death.
Wait a minute.
If you can't believe it, then hurry up and come back.
That night, to my shock, my sister returned with my husband, Matt. Seeing her cry over Amy's portrait and not comforting her, I felt a sense of disgust.
I'm so sorry if I've been there. I'm really sorry.
I hate to ask while you're crying, but there's something I need to know.
What is it?
From the night you left for your trip, I tried contacting you every day. I called, emailed, and messaged, but you never replied. Why?
I couldn't use my phone because I was abroad.
Really? Then what's this?
I showed her the photo from her Instagram.
This was posted 4 days ago. If you could post this, it means at least in the hotel your phone was working, right?
Well, that's...
You noticed my messages but thought it was too much trouble to reply, didn't you? That's why you never read my messages online.
You didn't want to be in contact with me at all, did you?
That's not true.
Then I'll ask the other person in this photo.
The other person?
Hey, did you enjoy your trip with my sister?
Wait, we can't be smart.
I enlarged the photo and showed it to Matt and my sister. Both of them turned pale, and even my parents' eyes widened upon seeing the photo.
This person reflected in the mirror, it's clearly you, isn't it? It's clearly you, isn't it? What's this all about?
Well, that's the guy. Please, Mike T. Ruby, it's just someone who looks like me. That's not a business trip. About EB.
I called your office. They said you were on vacation for a week. If that's not you in the photo, then where were you?
I even spaced this to separate. Okay.
You must have had a great time to post such a picture. But maybe you weren't careful enough.
I never thought it would be caught in the photo like that.
I'm sorry.
Finally, both of them confessed to the affair. This infuriated my parents.
What on earth are you two doing?
For you and your child to go on a romantic trip is outrageous. Unbelievable. You're no longer a part of this family. I disown you. I return her.
We tolerated you because you're a single mother. But think of all the money we've given you. I want it all back as severance.
I don't ever want to see your face again.
Wait, Mom, Dad.
Quiet. Don't ever come back to this house.
Gus, please say something.
What are you asking me to say? This is all your fault. You should regret what you've done for the rest of your life.
Be unable to forgive my sister for taking her child's life so lightly, I spoke to her coldly. My sister had been apologizing to Amy while crying the whole time, but it's not like Amy will return. And of course, I couldn't forgive my husband, who was practically stuck to my sister's side.
It's not like you're not involved in this either.
What are you talking about?
Fill this out now. We'll discuss the alimony through a lawyer, so be prepared for that.
An application for divorce. Bly.
Why? It's obvious. I can't believe you made a move on your sister-in-law. I don't want to be with someone so disgusting.
Just wait a minute. I'm sorry, we can sort this out if we talk.
How can I have a proper conversation with someone who lies about business trips to go on a cheating getaway?
Oh, that's Ashray with me for Hester.
Please communicate through a lawyer from now on.
I filed the divorce papers at the office and managed to get a settlement of $50,000 from both of them. I left the house and decided to go back to my parents' home.
I'm back again, sorry.
Don't be silly. You're our only daughter, and you're always welcome here.
That's right. Better to stay here than be with some weirdo. Else choose that order.
I'll be in your care again for a while.
My sister and her husband apparently got together after that. But it seems they didn't see eye to eye and broke up after about 6 months. My sister ended up working day and night to pay the damages to me and now lives modestly in a rundown apartment. My husband worked at his company for a while, but once his affair was discovered and it became awkward there, he left after repaying the alimony. I don't know where he is now. Well, it doesn't really matter now. I'm living a carefree and comfortable life without anyone imposing anything on me. I'm even planning a trip with my parents, which feels liberating after all that's happened. I'm truly happy about it. I'm okay being alone for a while, but I do want children someday. Hopefully, I'll find the right partner eventually.